What's up, you guys? So, after the altercation between Real Housewives of Potomac castmates Monique Samuels and Candiace Dillard Bassett, Andy Cohen is speaking out about changes to the Real Housewives of Potomac cast. Candiace has refused to film with Monique following the altercation. And despite Monique initially not being remorseful for her role in the altercation, lately the spotlight has actually been on Candiace for her vicious comments wishing eternal rest on a Bravo blogger that recently did find eternal rest. But despite Candiace being called out as an instigator in the altercation with Monique and her vitriol towards the blogger being brought into the spotlight, Bravo Andy has said that he thinks the Real Housewives of Potomac has the perfect cast, quote unquote, the perfect cast. Andy told Danny Pellegrino on the Everything Iconic podcast, the Potomac reunion is happening pretty soon, and I think at this moment it looks like it's going to be in person. There was a hiccup a couple of days ago where maybe it wasn't, but I'm hopeful that it would be in person. I do not aspire to do more Zoom reunions. And when it comes to season 6, he said, no, I don't think the RHOP cast will change. I think that's one of the reasons why Potomac is so great. So I'm here with one of my personal favorite bloggers, Bondy Blue, and we're here to discuss Andy Cohen saying that RHOP is the perfect cast despite their physical altercations with one another and despite the comments Candiace has made about that Bravo blogger. What's up, you guys? I'm here with a special guest today. As you can see, I'm here with my girl, Bondy Blue. Yes. Okay. And we're here to discuss the situation with Real Housewives of Potomac. Andy Cohen has responded to the speculation. There's been growing speculation regarding one of the housewives being cut from the Real Housewives of Potomac. And obviously, we know that Monique and Candiace got into an altercation. And although allegedly, the altercation was physically initiated by Monique, there have been rumors out, and allegedly the attention is actually on Candiace, not only for taunting Monique, for getting up in Monique's face and taunting Monique, but also for her comments about the blogger Black Socialites, who has since found eternal rest. Her wishing that he would find eternal rest and then him finding eternal rest has allegedly come to the attention of Bravo. And so from what I'm hearing, her champagne flute was in danger, but Bravo Andy has responded to those allegations, and he has said that he thinks the Real Housewives of Potomac has, quote unquote, the perfect cast. Now, what do you think about that, Bondy? The perfect cast. Do you think that is the perfect cast?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't think it's the perfect cast. The perfect cast would be a cast of people who would film and tape with each other no matter what happened.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you on that. Yeah. And so from what we've heard, Candiace has refused to film with Monique because of their physical altercations. She's refused to film with Monique. And so we do have a cast that is divided as far as who will film with who. And a lot of times the ladies do that to kind of ice someone out and to get someone kicked off the cast. But according to Bravo Andy, that ain't working. That the cast is perfect. According to him, there's not someone getting kicked off the cast.
I think that this is actually great because I think that sometimes housewives think they have more power than they really do. And I think because they saw that kind of work with Nene, they thought that would work with Monique. But the difference is, I think producers and executives like Monique, I think they were tired of Lanithia, which is why she was then ushered out. But I think that as long as Ashley and Karen are willing to tape with Monique, that's enough of the group. That's basically half of the group. Okay. So really, they can just have Monique pop up every now and again and act like,
somebody that pops up, that's like a Shamia. Isn't somebody that pops up every now and again? Isn't that more of a friend to the show than a cast?
No, I mean like at events that she's not supposed to be at. Production know what's going on. Okay. Just tell her what time and where they gonna be at.
And
she'll have two people there. So like if Wendy didn't want to invite her to that event, she could have been, messy. Robin's event, like somebody cared about those tacky hats. I'm just saying. They didn't even get their hair laid properly for them.
I know. Their hair was just big for the hats. Yeah. But I don't like the hats, Bondy.
Listen, I'm not saying I would wear them. I'm saying they didn't look good the way they look.
Right.
You saw that, girl.
They weren't ready for the hats. Yeah.
No, everybody had big, fluffy hair. It was like, this is not hat hair. You need a little flat when you're going to do the hat hair.
Yeah.
But either way, she could have popped up at that like, oh, what's up, Robin? Where my hat at? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. With her hair ready. Yep.
This is Potomac. They're not going to do all of that. And Monique is not the type of person that's going to push herself on the other girls. Yeah. But I think she's one of the main people with the actual housewife lifestyle. Why would we get rid of, the what? That is true. I mean, now that Wendy's there, they're more. But before it was just the three of them, Karen, Ashley, and Monique with that lifestyle. Yeah. So I think it would be a disservice.
As far as the franchise, they are very serious about presenting that lifestyle. Like it might be, take it or leave it for the viewers, but Bravo is very serious about presenting that lifestyle of a wealthy housewife. Mm-hmm. And so Monique does have that on her side. She's genuinely a wealthy housewife.
Yes, she is.
So at one point, Monique, if on the show, she was saying, that maybe she shouldn't be a part of the group, but it seems like her tune has changed. Like before she thought like, maybe I should leave. Like after the fight, she felt like, maybe this is it. But it seems like her tune has changed and she wants to stay from what I'm hearing. She does want to stay a housewife.
Listen, that's a nice check. And that's also lit. Okay. And marriages are amazing. Families are amazing. But, mama didn't raise no food. Mm-hmm. And if she can have money from her own ventures, that will probably make her feel all the more powerful in her situation. Because I think from what we've seen, because Chris makes the money, there is, this imbalance in power in their household. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like Housewives and the podcast and all of these ventures that she has because of the show allow her to have more freedom within her own life. So if they want her to stay, I don't see why she would want to leave right now. Candiace doesn't want to tape with me, whatever. They weren't going to tape with each other anyway, really, if they hadn't fought. If they hadn't fought, then they still would be around each other, not liking each other. And it would have still been stale. I'm hoping for reconciliation. Okay, I know right now it's too soon. But if Kenya and Portia can do it, then I think they can do it because they had a real friendship.
Yeah, I do think they did have a real friendship, more so than Kenya and Portia. It seemed like they never really had a friendship.
Right.
But they allegedly reconciled, but I don't feel like that was a true reconciliation.
It was just enough for us to all tape together, and that's really all we need.
Right. We're co-workers. We're colleagues. Right. Yeah, I get that. But as far as Monique and Candiace reconciling, sometimes I'm starting to wonder, how people always want you to make peace with people and let things go. And I'm starting to wonder, should you really reconcile with someone that beat you over your head? You know what I'm saying? Like, should you really?
I mean, she's still cool with her mom, and her mom hit her with a purse. I'm just joking. But I mean, I'm just saying that people have gotten into fights and gotten past it at some point. So no, I probably wouldn't be running to be friends with somebody that hit me before that good old Bravo check. I can show up and sit at a table and, like I could do that for that good old check.
I guess I could do that, but at the same time, I'm not going to reconcile. Like if I sit down at the table, I'm going to have an attitude. You know what I'm saying? If I have to sit down at the table with someone who physically assaulted me, I'm going to have an attitude. I'm not going to actually reconcile. And I feel like that's for my own mental health. I don't feel like it's always, I don't know. Lately, I just been feeling like it's not always good to forgive and forget people that have assaulted you.
Listen, I don't think that you necessarily have to forgive and forget. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think it has to be that, but I think we need to get to a place where Candiace stops with the bullshit. Stop acting like you are so distraught that you couldn't possibly tape with her again. Like, cut it out. And are you scared or not? Because, you're running your mouth like you're not scared, but, you file charges and you don't want to tape with her like you are. So I just want her to pick a vibe.
Okay. So speaking of filing charges, I feel like when we talk about filing charges and when we talk about the fight in general, I feel like people are leaving out Giselle and Robin. And when it comes to the fight, Giselle pushed Monique, and Monique didn't know it. She didn't know who pushed her. She just knows she got pushed. So that's what triggered her. So looking back, I can see where she was at. I can see where her frame of mind was at that time. Yeah. And then when it comes to filing charges, Candiace has filed charges. She said that basically it had to do with Monique not feeling guilty, like not feeling remorse. And Robin was the one that delivered her that message that Monique was not remorseful. So I feel like if we want to talk about the bigger situation, we have to include Giselle and Monique and their meddling in the situation.
Even, Wendy says that, oh, nobody threw a drink in your face. We saw a drink go in her face. Whether your glass was still in your hand or not, the drink that was in your hand went this way. That got in her face. At the same time, we have Giselle coming into the fight and pulling Monique. And now Monique is just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's triggered. She's just, going for blood. Yeah.
Right, which at the end of the day, they should have never got in each other's face in the way that they did. It didn't have to go there. But also, how many times are y'all going to put these women in a situation where all they did is drink and they got animosity? They're going to have an issue with one another. And I would like for people to put blame not only on Giselle and Robin, but instigating that fight and being messy after the fact as well. But also stop acting like Candiace was some damn victim in this situation. I don't like the way any of the girls act as if she had no responsibility whatsoever in what happened. And that's why I was glad that Judge threw everything out. Because to me, that says somebody with common sense was like, oh no, we're not about to do this.
Right. And for the record, from what the judge said, from my understanding, the judge said basically they both had a responsibility to walk away from the altercation. Like, even though Candiace wasn't being physical, she was taunting Monique. And so in his eyes, they both had a responsibility to walk away, and neither one of them walked away. And so in my opinion, like I do see Candiace as a victim because I feel like she didn't know that Monique was really about to hit her. So in my eyes, I do see her as a victim. I'm being honest. And when she has those stickers around her house and she's having flashbacks and stuff like that, I do see that because I feel like if it was me, I would probably be having flashbacks too. Because I feel like Candiace is the type of person basically that's not used to fighting. So she didn't realize that it's really about to be a fight because she's not used to fighting like physically. You know what I mean? So in a way, I do see her as a victim. I do.
See, even though I recognize that little Candiace wasn't ready for what happened.
Yeah.
And listen, I get that. But I also feel like a part of Candiace's problem is she is constantly in a state of being treated like a child. So where she gets to act out and say whatever and have a tantrum, and there's no reconciling that. It's just, well, I said what I said, and then that's that. Well, no, it doesn't always work that way. So for me, I feel like you need to learn from Monique whipping your ass that you should watch your words, and you never learned that lesson. And now here we are again with, the possibility of her losing her champagne glass because you weren't watching your words again. Who raised you? I'm sorry, that was Miss Dorothy. We can blame her. Yeah. But nobody should ever wish death on someone. Where's the couth? For all the education and shininess, where's the couth to not say something like that out of your mouth?
So the reunion is coming up, and Bravo Andy has mentioned that it is an in-person reunion. So of course, we're definitely going to be talking about the altercation. That's definitely going to be a hot topic of the reunion. So do you think, after all that we've seen and looking back and seeing Giselle's part in the altercation and her being the one that actually pushed Monique, do you think that they're going to bring that up at the reunion?
At first, I didn't think they were going to bring it up because I feel like so often they let these little subtle nuances just skate by. But when Karen told us that they were going for Giselle at the reunion and people are coming with their receipts and their facts and all of that, Monique said that as well. That made me feel like, okay, so we're going to come with everything we have. And a part of that is that you were physically involved in why Monique felt like somebody was attacking her. before she started to attack.
Yes. And I feel like that's a big deal. And I don't want Bravo Andy. I don't want Andy Cohen to let it go, because I saw on Watch What Happens Live, he asked Giselle about that. He had one of the question cards from a viewer. And a viewer had asked, like, we all, saw that actually that was you, Giselle. That was you that pushed Monique. And so he asked her about that. And Giselle basically absolved herself from all guilt. And she was like, I did not push her. I was trying to separate them. So she absolved herself. And Andy let it go. But I hope at the reunion, I hope it's not let go, because I feel like that was a major factor in their
absolutely. And let's change the language, because she didn't push her. See, if you were pushing somebody, then that would mean, okay, I'm trying to separate y'all. Right. But she stayed right behind Candiace, and then she pulled Monique's vest. Yeah. Okay. So to me, I felt like she was doing her job, instigating that fight. She had been instigating that fight for weeks. They had been, oh, you heard Monique said this? Oh, Candiace said this.
Yeah, that's what she does.
They have been doing that to them for a while.
Yeah. I feel like that's Giselle's position on the show. And I'm disappointed in that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so disappointed to see, Giselle's a beautiful woman. Allegedly she's in a beautiful relationship with her ex-husband. They're allegedly reconciled. Which is a whole nother story. Excuse me. Because one of his ex-girlfriends have reached out to me, girl. And if you watch it, I need you to reply to my email, because we definitely need to talk about that and the reality of that. But I'm disappointed, because it's like Giselle plays this bone carrier role. Mm-hmm. And you would think, she carries herself like she thinks the world of herself. Mm-hmm. If you think the world of yourself, why would you be a bone carrier? You know what I mean? Why would you play that role?
Right. Why don't you have something going on so that you can be the word on the street, or whatever she says about herself?
Yes.
You have nothing going on. There is no word. No one cares.
Right. And so that's why I am Team Karen. Karen really is the grande dame. Karen
really is.
Yeah.
And you know what made me think that even more? Seeing where she comes from and her childhood and what she grew up like on that farm, and probably feeling like a little country princess and all of that. I live. And I feel like, because Karen has relied on Pretty, but I think Karen has intellect in a way that Giselle doesn't, and self-awareness that Giselle doesn't. So she's had to have a personality and have other things going for her. Giselle is somebody who I feel like has been able to rely on their beauty for their whole lives. What else has she done besides rely on her beauty? And on a reality show, you're mostly looking at women who are watching this reality show who may like that you're pretty, but if you're nasty enough, everybody hates the mean girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Giselle is definitely, she's portrayed herself as a mean girl on this series. She's definitely done that. Being a pretty girl is not enough. With this type of audience, it's not enough. Yeah,
it's like, we're all pretty, bitch. Everybody's
right. Okay, come on, come through, Bondy. Come through. Okay. Well, Bondy, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I feel so honored to have you on my YouTube channel, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me. It's an honor to be on your YouTube channel. I love your channel. I always tell you that I'm always in here. Layla, look, I'm always in here.
Yes. Don't make me replace it with you singing it. Okay?
Okay. But thank you so much for having me. This is really great. I enjoyed it.
All right, you guys, I wanted to give you a quick little demo of how I use my graphic packs, my self-care wallpapers. You can use them as wallpapers or as your lock screen. And they serve as reminders to take care of yourself, that self-care isn't selfish. For me, my favorite one right now is this reminder to take a break, because I'm always so busy, especially as a mom. Y'all know my kids young, and so I'm always so busy, and this is just like a reminder that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to care for myself. So you can get your set right below this video. You'll see the link. As always, thanks for watching.